Took my first 7 fights without any MMA training, just wrestling. Kind of dumb.
Trial by fire.
Yeah. My first 2 fights, I actually went there just a corner. My best friend, first one, he had a huge staph infection, and they wouldn't let him fight. So then they're like, hey, you get in there. And second one, he came down with I went down a week beforehand, came down with the flu, and so I took over for him again. Yeah. I was just a wrestler and nothing. I actually got into wrestling because of MMA. I was a big fan. Like whenever I was in middle school, I was sneaking off with my friends and buying UFC tapes, and my parents were real conservative, so I'd watch them after they went to bed, and then I'd get caught, and I had a whole stash underneath my bed. I'd get caught, and one by one, my parents would take the tapes away from me.
So you didn't have Playboys, you had UFC?
I did, actually. Yeah, that's exactly what I had. And no dirty magazines, just UFC tapes. And then coach told me that, wrestling coach told me, wrestlers are doing the best in MMA, and I remember watching like Mark Coleman and Kevin Randleman, and actually Kenny Monday, was my high school coach. He fought in the UFC once and just destroyed the guy. It was all because of the wrestling, so I got into that and pursued that, and I thought I wanted to go to the '08 Olympics. I was ranked in between 3rd and 4th on the Olympic ladder, and I was 18. Everyone else was like 28, 30, 33.
So you pretty much just gave that up, huh?
Yeah, but I honestly, I have no regrets for that. A lot of people from the wrestling world still want me to try out in 2012.
Okay.
But I just want to pursue MMA and hopefully one day be a world champ.
And you guys,
what do your parents think about what you're doing now?
At first, they hated it because I gave up a free college education. But now they're very supportive, and they want me to achieve my goals. But if you want to know a funny story, I invited them to my 3rd pro fight. They didn't know about my first 2, and I upgraded my mom and dad's tickets to ringside. So I get in the cage first, and the guy walks out behind me, and he is just this juiced up meathead that's shaved head, tattoos from head to toe. He's like 30 years old, 32. I'm 19. And he gets in the cage, and the ref looks at me and says, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Yeah." Looks at my guy, and my guy's still talking to his coaches, like down in the corner. I look over him, and I see my dad trying to console my mom because she's just bawling her eyes out, just bawling. And then all of a sudden I hear, and I'm still looking at her. All of a sudden I hear, "Fight!" And I'm just like, "Oh."
So after that fight, you won, right?
Yeah.
So
it was only like a minute and.
you better have won.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah, I actually didn't get punched once.
So how was your mother after that?
She was still crying.
But it was over.
But right when I got out of the cage, there's people want to take pictures of me and everything else, and I went straight over to my mom and hugged her, and I'm like, "Look, it's okay, look." Yeah.
Everything's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. And now every time she'll watch me walk in, but once the cage door shuts, she's up in the top of the arena, like just waiting to hear. And then when she hears like the cheers or it's over, then she comes in and like sees who wins. So
How long did the Tommy John surgery have you out for?
I was out for a full year. Actually, I wasn't. I was supposed to be out.
Well,
for
you're
a full
supposed
year.
to be, but you
Yeah,
said you're sneaking off.
Yeah, I was supposed to be out for a full year, and then like 7 months later, I had just started doing my first 2 fights. I didn't throw one right hand, one right elbow.
So you were smart about it.
Right. I took the guys down, and I knew that if they're going to try to submit me, it's not going to be my right arm because I'm just keeping my elbow tight. And so I ended my first 2 fights with the left elbows. Just got him out and started going lefts.